Bloodborne. Not much can be said about this game that hasn't been said before, which is why I thought I would talk about it a little bit differently. Instead of praising the game for simply how good it is, I thought I would talk a little bit more about how this game found me, and how I would end up liking a game I absolutely hated. It may not be widely known on my channel, but my name Tawksick isn't really a joke. I'm a pretty angry person and I get angry pretty easily. So when it comes to Souls games that are made to tick you off and get under your skin, I'm generally pushed away before I even get a chance to try the game. Bloodborne was different though. Bloodborne found its way to me 3 Christmases ago, and I was honestly shocked to see it. I had gotten it from my grandparents, and before you go, oh man, you got some cool grandparents, or wow, your grandparents are okay with that kind of violence, they didn't know what they bought me. The reason I know this is because they picked a random game that was on sale at Target, and the reason I know that is because it still had the circle orange sticker on it that meant it was $15. I'm not sure why they chose Bloodborne out of all the games they could, but I digress. Now when I got it on Christmas, I knew very little about it. I knew Chris Bagel played it, but that was about it. I remember talking on the phone with Bagel one time while he was playing it, and he was talking about how scared he was in the current area he was in. At the time I thought it was funny, but when I played it, I was like, oh god, this crap is scary. I knew it was a Souls game, and that Chris loved it, and that was it. That's all I knew. But like I said, it being a Souls game, I was immediately turned away, because I don't like games that try to aggravate you, or are just needlessly hard.
What are you talking about? Dark Souls is easy.
Look, I'm not that good at video games, okay? Being a Souls game, it sat on my shelf for a few months collecting dust. It probably wasn't until spring that I said, you know what? I've got nothing better to do. Let's play some Bloodborne. I've always found the first 2 bosses somewhat easy. Father Gascoigne is a little bit harder than the Cleric Beast, but regardless, I can usually get through those 2 no problem. Once it gets to Vicar Amelia though, oh! This boss has single-handedly turned me away from Bloodborne a handful of times, and has probably ruined a couple playthroughs. But the thing with getting turned away from Bloodborne, or rage quitting, or simply giving up, is you can always come back. I've picked up and dropped this game countless times, and I've even come back to it after breaking my PS4 over it. Yeah, see, my room was in shambles at the time, and my PS4 and TV were on the floor, and this is hard to admit, but I lost to the witches. I lost to the witches multiple times, and one time I may or may not have slammed my controller into my PS4, breaking the hard drive inside, rendering my PS4 useless. Don't call me toxic for nothing. But even after that, I came back, and I got further and further into the game. I beat the witches and helped other people beat them just for fun. I got help on the Shadows of Yharnam, Rom the Vacuous Spider. No, okay, I can't handle this boss. I don't understand how you're supposed to do this. Like, I'm so impatient in the fight, and even when I took it slow, I still die to the stupid spiders. I just don't understand how you're supposed to do it. Every time I fight this boss, I just get overpowered, and I just one-hit it with the Whirligig Saw. I hate this boss so much. But I beat it, and I kept going. After Rom, I beat the Reborn, I went to Mikolash, thank you for the trick bagel, and then to the Wet Nurse, and then after that, I went to Gehrman. After beating Gehrman, I beat the game. I didn't know about the chords at the time, and that was it. I had beaten Bloodborne. I had beaten the game I once hated and had fallen in love with it. But something wasn't right. I wasn't quite satisfied with my victory. I felt like I had cheated. On many bosses, I had summoned people for help, so I did the only reasonable thing. I started a new playthrough. I even made it look like Ganondorf and everything for a video I had planned, but it sadly never happened. I played through the game once again, this time knowing so much more and having that much more fun. And this time, I did every single boss and hunter along the way. And wouldn't you know it, I'm still playing on it to this day. Granted, it's been a while since I've progressed in it, but I'm currently going through the DLC and I'm not looking forward to the Orphan at all. All of this brings me to the question that I've been asking myself since the second time I picked up Bloodborne. Why? Why do I like Bloodborne? Bloodborne's challenges are limited to your will alone. If you wanted to go through the whole game with only your fists, you could do it. It'd be insanely hard, but if you have the will, you can do it. And that brings me back to being able to come back to the game. There's no game over in Bloodborne. All that happens is you die and you respawn. There's no game over restart, there's no one tries only. You keep trying until you succeed. Remember playing Mario Brothers and you would get so far into the game, but if you get a game over, that's it. It's all the way back to the beginning. Or maybe you're playing an online game like League. That 1v1 you lost in top lane, there's no do-overs. You lost it and you can't change it. But it's different with Bloodborne. With Bloodborne, you can keep trying over and over and over with the same standards until you finally reign victorious or you break your PS4. Bloodborne gives you the chance to learn from your mistakes and adapt, or simply rise above the challenge with pure strength. Bloodborne doesn't give up unless you do, and that is why I love Bloodborne.